Right here in Austin, Texas, they're announcing that you'll be thrown out of school and then be arrested if you don't take the regular flu shot and then the H1N1. So really what's happening here is we are seeing a precedent being set where school children, healthcare workers, you name it, have to take the flu shot. We're seeing that added to the list of 60-plus vaccines they claim are mandatory. Now, remember, Governor Rick Perry claimed that the Gardasil shot was mandatory. Now, that was a lie. He just put it on the list of health department, state health department, listed mandatory under policy. Then public schools lied and would kick you out for truancy, saying you'd violated policy if you hadn't taken it, never telling you there was a waiver they were supposed to give you for the policy under state law. So even if you're for these shots, it's all fraud-driven. So it says, should healthcare workers be required to get flu shot? And all over the nation, they are. All over the nation, they're suing. But before I get to the flu news, I wanted to show you this. CCTV website recruits video vigilantes. Governments in the U.S. and England are paying people to spy. They call it volunteer, though, but then they pay you to spy on the surveillance cameras and report to police. They want you to be involved in it. Here's the New York Times. They say license plate scanning readers are spreading all over the city now. See, the whole country's already got these. They're just announcing them to you now. I wanted to show that to you. Now, getting back into flu. Here is just the regular influenza virus vaccine, one of the big 5 brands, and it says contains thimerosal, a mercury derivative, as a preservative. And if you calculate the 25 mcgs, that is roughly 5 times what it had previously. So they're on the news saying it's not in there. It's in all 5 brands. And there's even more in the regular one, and there's even more of the adjuvant squalene in there. So this much squalene killed large percentages of the troops that were forced to take it with the anthrax and smallpox. They don't care. They're doing it here. Now, I wanted to get to this. This is from The Nation magazine. Human vaccine test put off again. They are not doing an H1N1 test. This is an unapproved, but under level 6 UN emergency. They are going to market today with the first 200,000. First, they said they didn't have 200 million shots. They announced today, the feds did, that they have 200 million ready. 200 million, or 2/3 of the 300 million population in this country, with another 100 million being made. They're acting like police are guarding it when it's delivered. Everyone wants it. There's long lines. Yeah, hypochondriac idiots who want to get it. They're hyping up of 100 women who had the H1N1 who went to the hospital. Of the sickest who already went, 23 died, or 1/5. They don't tell you when you read deeper that they all had pre-existing conditions, or that it's killing much less than the regular flu. But here's what's scary. They haven't tested it, but they're rolling out with the first 10 million dosages starting today with a live virus. And I saw this on Fox this morning. I mean, I already knew this, but to see them admit, oh, yes, it's live, and it may give some people the flu, but that's okay. And so they spray it in their nasal passage. The virus grows in the sinus, and then they sneeze it on you. And so the hospitals will now, and the police departments will now become giant incubation centers. And it's a religion to these cops to do what they're told. So they're going to go, oh, I love it. I love the government. And let me tell you, you guys doing this are out of your minds. And some of you will undoubtedly have adverse reactions or die. By the way, don't believe me on that front? Here is the Mayo Clinic, one of the most respected virology centers in the country. Influenza virus vaccine live. I'm reading from the headline, nasal route. Not the intramuscular or the epidermis or the different ways they deliver it under the skin or into the muscle. No, this is the nasal route in the snout. influenza virus vaccine live nasal route. And this is a live H1N1. And this is all 5 of these companies patented and cloned this exact DNA sequence, RNA sequence, in 2007 and got patents. And that's why they said, oh, we'll have this in a few months, not 6 months to a year like normal, because we already had it. Then they admit in last year's vaccine program, they had virus simulants. And then you go look at what that means, or virus track, it means live virus. They put this crap out in the other hemisphere. That's where this all came from. That's why top virologists have said, yeah, we've looked at this under electron microscopes. This was clearly made in the lab. Now, do they know something we don't know? Is this going to mutate now? Because they said that if the nasal was live, it would be mega deadly, because that's where it's guaranteed in millions of people to mutate. And it's probably going to mutate into a bad form, because you'll have hundreds of different mutations. And then the very same bastards will just sit up there and go, we don't know why everybody's starting to die. Take your shots. We told you so. I mean, is that what we're about to see happen? There's no end to you criminals. There's no end to you people. And they go on to list the hundreds of medical conditions and the hundreds of drugs that if you're on them, don't take it. But I'll guarantee you, at your local pediatrician clinic, they're mainly giving this to kids. They don't tell you, it says in here, don't give it to little kids. I'll guarantee you, because look at this. And by the way, Burmis is doing great research. He keeps handing me articles. I want him to give this all to Paul Watson and Kurt to post in our developing flu section, just where you can go read it for yourself. In deciding to use a vaccine, the risk of taking a vaccine must be weighed against the good it will do. Wait, I thought Reuters said there's no bad any of these can do. It's a conspiracy theory. The CDC secret documents don't say it causes neurological disorders. Of course, they do say that, but I heard Dr. Dina Dell Sunday on the radio saying it's a conspiracy. It will hurt no one. It's impossible. It will only help you. Total lie. I mean, here's the Mayo Clinic. In deciding to use a vaccine, the risk of taking the vaccine must be weighed against the good it will do. By the way, that's on the flu inserts. The flu inserts admit this can sterilize you. This has been associated with infertility. This has been associated with cancer. Yeah, you start shooting. So you're meant to get a tiny bit of flu and then get immunity to it. Maybe a few viruses go into your nose. They say it might take 45, 50 viruses in one droplet of water to then replicate and for you to catch it. But instead, when they put millions of live viruses up your nose instead of 25 or 50 on average, your body doesn't know what to do, and it has a storm of autoimmune response. And that's just one problem. And you do that over and over again, your body just gives up after a while and you get cancer. Because your body just gives up. You burn out your autoimmune system. It's like post-traumatic stress disorder, where you put troops in frontline battle for 2, 3, 4 tours. Their adrenal glands are fried. Their brain is fried. They're basket cases. They're only happy when they're in a bar fight or killing somebody, because that's the only time they feel alive. Executives and business people and performers have their own form of post-traumatic stress. They're low energy when they're not on the stage. I've experienced this. You go do 4 hours of high-intensity radio, you get tired. It's hundreds of times worse when you're in combat, I've been told. The intensity of it, or being a cop who sees a lot of really, bad stuff. That's why it screws them up. It's the same thing that's your brain. Imagine your endocrine system being pumped full of all these shots that jack it up, jack it up, jack it up, jack it up, jack it up. You're meant to get 25 to 50 viruses in you and get an autoimmunity to those. You're attacked by a few troops, not a million. That's why autoimmune diseases, cancer, brain damage, and we have scientist after scientist, top scientist, like Dr. Blaylock. This guy invented a whole bunch of famous brain surgeries. His term, excitotoxicity, is now in major medical literature and been proven. He wrote about it 25 years ago. He coined dozens and dozens of terms. He will break it. They all know. All the brain scientists know what's going on. MSG, hardcore drug. aspartame, hardcore drug. Do you know what aspartame is? It's a genetic engineered product. The Army wanted to feed toxic waste to bacteria and have bacteria be able to eat it in an oil spill test. Then they found a chemical weapon. Then they decided to put it in your drinks. Then in 9,000 foods. It's called aspartame. It is the defecation of a specially engineered type of bacteria, an E. coli. Don't believe me? Go pull it up for yourself. Manufacturing process of that, of aspartame. You can read it for yourself.